Hi there everyone, I'm Mr. Kingalocious, and I'm here today to review the 2013 Sonic the Hedgehog fan film. In 2013, controversy filled the fandom when Blue Core Studios, an independent film production company, released Sonic, a speculative fan film. This wasn't the first fan film that Blue Core Studios had worked on, having previously released the feature-length Mega Man film in 2010, which, from what I can gather, was pretty good. But the Sonic fan film was released to very mixed and argumentative reviews, striking both love and hatred. So, what is this film? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it both? Well, today, let's hope that we can find out, as we take a good look at this film's plot and writing, acting, sets and locations, special effects, CGI, sound, and music. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Really? Dive right in? The plot for this film consists of the cliched
an evil overlord takes over the world but is surprised when a lowly underdog from the most despised part of society appears out of nowhere and outsmarts him, freeing the world.
I'm surprised I did that. That was pretty good. This in itself, admittedly, isn't a bad plotline and paves the way for an interesting and engaging story. The writing reminds me of the writing in big epics like The Matrix, where on an emotional level the characters are very shallow and to the point, but the script is filled with just enough one-liners and vague exposition to keep you at least slightly interested in what's going on. All in all, the plot and writing certainly aren't amazing or revolutionary, and neither are they terrible. But, and this is a big but, do you remember back in the day when Sonic was dark and gritty, where the games conquered themes like psychopathy and racism, and Dr. Robotnik was pure evil? You do. Seriously. That's strange, because I sure don't. And that's where this story falls flat. In a standalone sense, the film could work, but its tone is way too dark and the characters way too epic to make any sense as a Sonic the Hedgehog film. And so far, I haven't even mentioned all the errors that appear as soon as you say that this is supposed to be a prequel to the original games. Really, there's not much wrong with the plot or writing itself, and I'd like to give it a good mark, but because they've given it the context that they have, they've fallen flat on their face, and I can only manage to part with 2 out of my 10 points. Oh, hi Brental Floss, hi Angry Video Game Nerd, hi Nostalgia Critic, hi Stuttering Craig, Ego Raptor, Aaron? Is that you? Very nice to see all of you here. It's lovely that we could all meet up. What the hell are you all doing here? We only need JonTron and the party would be complete. Oh, there he is. I see, I knew he had to be in here somewhere. But seriously, what was the casting director thinking in this film? Most of the acting is flat and emotionless, with the exception, of course, of Dr. Robotnik.
Humanity used to be a God-given right. Now it's a privilege.
When has he ever been played by a bad actor? And old Jaleel here.
Take a step back and imagine this. A perfect world. A place where you can just kick back.
Oh, and by the way, Jaleel, though, look, I appreciate your unquenchable thirst for nostalgia, but was he the first person you thought of to represent? And don't worry, we'll get to in due time. My point is that apart from some outliers, the acting really is below par in this film. And actually, I don't blame the actors. I blame the casting director for choosing people for roles that they don't necessarily excel in. Who knows? This guy might be really awesome at comedy. This guy might just suck at being in pain. If Blue Core Studios could take internet celebrities like James Rolfe and Doug Walker, who are known for their acting, and dumb them down to this level, who's not to say the rest of the cast is just the same? Look, I'll give the actors credit, and I think that this time I could deal with parting from 3 out of my 10 points. But only 3, no more. Honestly, I didn't think the filmmakers did too badly in this area. In keeping with the style of the film, the set of Robotnik's ship definitely looks evil. The forest was a decent place to choose to represent South Island, and they definitely chose a decent-looking city to represent Station Square. But there are still some things that could have been done better. Firstly, New York. Really? You chose a city that everyone in the world will recognize and used it for a city that isn't supposed to exist. No. It's beautiful. Best decision you could have made. I mean, maybe if you'd edited out the Chrysler building, less people would have noticed, but I suppose you didn't want to waste your budget on the petty task of supporting your opening titles. I also would have liked to see some more variety on South Island. Give me a beach, stream, or a waterfall. Anything to convince me that this is an island where nature is lush and beautiful. But this is all kind of nitpicking, and I suppose they didn't do too badly in this department. I reckon I could part with 5 points. The special effects in this film confuse me. Maybe it's because I'm a perfectionist, but I personally can't see anyone looking at this and saying,
That looks about right.
I don't even know how a movie can mess up their special effects so much. At one point, Sonic even crosses over the letterboxing when he leaves the frame. Tell me, who would look at this and say that it looked right? Anyone? Look, I don't really have much else to say about this. It's just... Look, let's just move on to CGI. A live-action CG hybrid is a brave choice for a fan film with little budget, and it creates a whole new set of stumbling blocks for the filmmakers to traverse. It's a hard thing to make, and I can understand some of this film's problems because of that. For example, 3D motion tracking is ridiculously hard to do unless you have the right equipment and then the skill to cover it up. So I can get why the tracking in this film is off at points. I can also understand why the animation may not be stellar. It's hard. I've yet to see an amateur 3D film with animation that doesn't have some kind of problem. But some of the stuff that's wrong with this film's CGI is seriously easily fixed. Take Robotnik's ships, for example. The problem here isn't low poly count or low resolution textures, it's the lack of normal and spectral maps, which control the way the light interacts with the surface. Trust me, give these models some good normal and spectral maps and they will suddenly appear 1,000,000 times more realistic. Want another, more important example? Sonic's quills. The problem here is that they haven't given them enough vertices. The more vertices you give them, the more they will appear to smoothly curve rather than just suddenly bending every now and again. Making him seem more realistic by giving him actual quills isn't a bad idea. You just haven't done it right, and so you've ruined it for yourselves.
How is that shit?
All in all, the film has certainly done well for its budget, but there are problems that would have required no money at all to fix. This is a hard one. It's effort versus product. I think I'll part with 4.
As David Lynch once said, films are 50% visual and...
Yeah, we've been through all that. But again, most people underestimate the effect that sound has on film, and this film is no different. There are points in this film where the music is too quiet and where the sound effects are too loud. Sometimes the same sounds are used multiple times over.
Suckers! Oh man, what it'll...
Although I do give them credit, they did shift the pitch up to try and convince all the dumb people out there that it isn't the same sound effect. There are even points where entire parts of a scene are completely devoid of corresponding sound effects.
You hear that shit?
A long time ago, I redesigned the sound for this film, and you would not believe how much it increased the quality, even if it is pretty crude. I might also comment on the way that they recorded live sounds. Here's a scene where the sound cuts out unexpectedly. It's pretty bad. But notice the loud rustling of clothing when they start running away. This is because they recorded the sound with lavalier microphones. If you don't know what that is, It's a small microphone that you clip to the collar of your shirt. You see it in lectures or news reports a lot, but not often in film. In film, you generally use something called a boom mic. I'm sure you've all seen one before, which you point to the actor who's speaking and it captures their voice. What I don't understand is why these people didn't just pay a little extra money to make sure that they had pristine and clear sound quality. Another practice in film audio, which you might not have known, is that the sound recorded using the boom is usually only used for voices, not for sound effects. Every time that there isn't a voice in the live audio, that section is cut out. Almost all of the sound effects in a film that aren't a human voice are inserted in post. Here's an example. Midsummer Murders is a murder mystery show with feature-length episodes. It doesn't really matter if you know what it is or not, but check this out. These are a few scenes played without the live audio. I'm serious. This is genuinely an extra audio track featured on the disc. My point is that without this practice, this happens. And as you can tell, it doesn't sound good at all. This film's audio has been recorded and put together poorly, and I only think it deserves the 3 points that I'm going to give it. The music for this film was composed and produced by a fellow named Daniel James. Now Daniel, you've made great music. I appreciate what you've done. The production quality is top-notch, and it's all A-OK in my mind. But, is it really relevant? Certainly this isn't the music you would expect to find in a Sonic the Hedgehog film. That's obvious. You'd expect to find something like this. Or even this. But even pushing that to the side, would it still be relevant if this wasn't a Sonic fan film? The filmmakers have given this film a dark science fiction feel, and I don't think that the music supports that. Is it dark? Maybe. That's debatable. But is it science fiction? No. This music cries out for a generic Hollywood action film, and it definitely isn't going to find one here. Sorry, kiddo. Your music's great, but it doesn't fit the film. I will give you credit for making good music, though. I'll part with 5 points. For you. Overall, this film is a mess. The premise was good, but the way that Blue Core Studios fulfilled that premise left much to be wanted, and a lot to not be wanted. So is this film good? Or is it bad? I didn't enjoy this film, and I can't say that many people did. Well, it's a pretty simple answer. It's bad. It's really bad.
Humanity.
What?
Humanity used to be a God-given right. Now it's a privilege. You follow the rules, I allow you to keep it. But when you don't, you must lose your humanity.
I don't know anything. Please, don't.
Prep our friend for roboticization.
No! You goddamn monster! All of this will end soon. If we don't take you down, the blue blur will.
The
We're gonna fucking what?
Hell?
The hell is that? What?
No!